I vote for a name change. We should stop calling it white supremacy and start calling it white narcissism. And I'm going to tell you why. I was reading a book called Fear of Black Consciousness by Lewis Gordon, and something clicked so hard, y'all, I had to put the book down because I just needed a minute to process. Because a lot of what we describe as supremacy doesn't actually look like confidence or dominance. It looks like insecurity. It looks like fragility. It looks like people losing their minds the second they're not centered. And that's not supremacy, that is narcissism. Yeah. So let me explain what I mean. Malignant narcissism is basically when entitlement, lack of empathy, and obsession with control mixed with aggression. It's not just, I think I'm great. It's, I deserve to be centered, obeyed, deferred to. And if I'm not, somebody has to pay. So now let's look at the real world, right? Why does somebody lose it when a Black person talks about racism? Why does teaching accurate history feel like a personal attack? Why does someone crash a conversation about police violence and make it about their feelings? Why does equality feel like oppression? That's not the behavior of someone who's secure in power. That's the behavior of someone whose identity only works if everyone else stays small. Lewis Gordon talks about how whiteness gets treated as the default for being human. So when Black people speak from our own experiences, it feels like a disruption, like we're making it about race, even though race was already baked in. Everything is about race, everything. And that's where the narcissism shows up. Because narcissistic systems don't just want dominance, they want validation. They want to be admired, obeyed, and never questioned. Look at the examples. A Black athlete kneels quietly, and it's a national meltdown. Black students ask for inclusion, and it's, why are they dividing us? I say that ICE is actually modernized slave patrols. And I get white people in my comments who admittedly do not have Jewish ancestry saying, no, ICE is a Gestapo. Shut the f. That's not supremacy acting calm and assured. That's narcissism reacting to a loss of control. Malignant narcissism can't handle criticism. It can't handle boundaries. And it definitely can't handle being told you're not the center of this story. That's why the reaction is always rage, denial, or rewriting reality. And Lewis Gordon points out something really important. When people insist that their behavior is just human nature, what they're really doing is universalizing themselves. Everyone is like me. Everyone thinks like me. So if you don't, you're the problem. That is textbook narcissism. This system doesn't freak out because it's losing power. It freaks out because it's losing attention. So yeah, I'm voting to change the language because white supremacy sounds like strength. And what we're dealing with is actually a system that can't survive without admiration, dominance, and silence from everyone else. That's not supremacy, y'all. That is white narcissism.